Okay, hope you watched the videos I have posted in Amble on ADC and how it works. Let us learn more about the potentiometer which we are going to use in the simulator. In simulator, potentiometer is like an analog slider. Okay. Now one more point, we ask you to watch video. That doesn't mean that you have to simply watch it and forget. While you watch the video, to make note of important terms, its definition, etc. And if there is any doubt, that also you need to note and ask us and clear it. Now coming back to the potentiometer, this is the symbol of the potentiometer. This is actually a variable resistor with 3 pins, 1, 2 and 3. So usually pin 3 will be connected to the bottom voltage, which will be ground or 0 voltage, and 1 will be connected to the high voltage, input voltage. In our case, 1 will be connected to 5 volt. And the second is known as the wiper, which is from which we take the output voltage. So when the wiper is, this is something which is movable, we can slide it up and down. When the wiper is brought to the bottom, we get 0 volt. As the wiper moves ahead from 0, the voltage gradually increases linearly, and then when the wiper reaches here, we get the maximum voltage. For example, let's say V in is 5 volt and this is 0. When the wiper is here, we get 0, and as the wiper moves ahead, we get a value between 0 and 5. So the value between 0 and 5 will be converted into the equivalent digital representation based on the resolution of the ADC. So between 0 and 5, you will have 1, 0, 2, 4 levels if you are operating with a 10-bit ADC. So that is how the math works out, and you can find out what is the digital output at a particular value of the voltage. Now think about this as an LM35 sensor. LM35 sensor also gives you voltage which is proportional to the temperature. So by measuring the voltage, you are actually measuring the temperature. That is how sensors work. Sensors actually convert the external world stimulus into any electric change in any electric parameters such as resistance, voltage or capacitance. Now let us see another representation which is more easy to understand. That is how a potentiometer looks like. In the potentiometer, pin number 1 is here, 3 is here, and this is known as the wiper, which can be rotated. As you rotate the shaft, the wiper moves around. So when the wiper is this extreme position, you get the value connected, voltage connected here, and when the wiper is at this position, you get the extreme voltage level connected to 3. So in between, when you are sliding it, you will get the intermediate value. This is what a potentiometer is. This is what you are going to purchase. You will get it and you can experiment with it. Now let us see how we can use that in the simulator. So we need to read analog values. So to accomplish that, there are some functions which we should understand: analog read, analog reference, analog write, etc. These are Arduino functions which will work on both NodeMCU and Arduino. So if you master these functions, you can easily write code for NodeMCU. So analog read, analog reference, etc. You are supposed to know the arguments to this, what is the output, how it can be used, etc. by referring to this link. So if I start explaining all the things, then it will end up as a lecture session. Let us not attempt that. So you'll have to look at the map function, max function, etc. which will be operating on the value which you have read. Okay, now let's come to the simulator. So on the simulator, you can find the sliders here. Now I have connected that to A0, and Arduino has got 6 analog inputs. That means the ADC is capable of accepting 6 analog sensors. Okay, so how it works, how exactly it is implemented, etc. we'll discuss at the theory class, where we will find out what exactly happens inside the ADC. Now for the time being, understand that whatever value you write here makes a connection. I have connected analog input of this slider to A0. Now look at my code. So in my code you can find an analog read function. So analog read sensor pin. So sensor pin value is declared to be A0. So this line is actually reading the A0. So we will get the value in the variable sensor value. So sensor value is going to contain a value from this slider which can be 0 from all the way to 1023, which corresponds to 5 volt. Okay, now we need to see that value. For that, there is an easy way of communicating via serial interface. So the Arduino can send data to a terminal on the computer. That terminal is known as the serial monitor. So to use the serial monitor, we need to initialize it in the setup function. This is used for the serial.begin 9600. 9600 is the baud rate. So the serial monitor must also be configured for the same baud rate. So I have started it in my setup routine. So after reading the sensor value, I am just printing it as data from the sensor. Now I can use this sensor value for some other purpose. So here what I did is, if you look at this, I am making LED pin which is 13 as high, and the delay value is the value which I got from the slider. So what will be the net effect? So the delay of LED blinking will be dependent on the slider position. So if I bring the slider very close to 0, my delay will be short, or the LED blinks at a faster rate. As I move my slider towards 5 volt, my delay increases and the LED starts blinking in a slower way. So you can verify that from the program and say execute. I can also show you the value that is coming in the serial monitor. For that you need to open the serial monitor. So serial monitor is coming here. Whatever I have given as print data from the sensor is coming, and as I move the slider, you can see the value changing. For that I need to execute the program. I need to put the run. Now you observe the serial monitor. Now my slider, I am bringing it down. Okay, now the data is 0. Since it is in any always running loop, you will find it scrolling up. So as I move the slider upwards, you can see the data changing. Okay, so I am slowly moving it, the values are increasing, and finally it reaches the maximum. The maximum value is 1023. Okay, now this value which you are getting from the slider can be assumed to come from a sensor, and you can do some processing. Suppose it is a temperature sensor LM35. So you can make some actions. If temperature is above 100 degrees centigrade, give an alert by lighting up some LED like that. So this is the objective of today's lab session. I want you to properly understand all the peripherals used in this, and then attempt the exercise questions given at the end of the video. Okay, so if you are okay, before I conclude, I will also show the use of the 4 LED array. This is 4 LED array. I will use a program for that. So this one here, I am, instead of blinking a single LED, I am using 4 data outputs. I have made pin number 2, 3, 4 and 5 as output, and making them high, going for a delay, making them low, again going for a delay, and this get repeated forever. So if you look at the code, I have used this pin number 2 and connected it here. I am connecting it here 0, 2. So 4 LEDs starting from 2, 3, 4, 5 will all start blinking. You can see that. See, all the LEDs are blinking because from 2, 3, 4. So this information is also required to work out one exercise in today's lab. So understand the question, work out it properly, understand how the code works, etc. And for those who already have the Node MCU, they can try it on the real hardware. I have uploaded the lab manual which talks about Node MCU in the Amble server. So they can go ahead. Others need not worry. We will have a separate session on installing the necessary libraries required for Node MCU on the Arduino IDE and get you to use it. I hope that from maybe next lab or the next lab, we will be able to switch to Node MCU and start doing real IoT experiments. That's all from my side. You can see the exercises here, and page 3 instructions are given on how to post it in Teams assignment. That's all. You watch the videos carefully, make notes, make note about the doubts also, and ask us. We are all here to support you. So after submission, we may ask you to show the screen randomly. That depends on the time span and the situation towards the end of the lab session. Okay, so keep the output, everything program that you are doing safe in your system. So with that, I am concluding the video. Hope you understood. In case of any doubt, you can ask us and get it clarified. Thank you.